right.
This is Rabbi Robert B. Holman Jr.
Sean Appleton.
and this is
Hebrews in Exile.
Exile.
Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I had a real nice trip to San Diego,
Yeah, beautiful place.
played a little golf,
Yeah, good.
and it was cold.
Did you do the Hebrew thing and rest?
Yeah.
A little bit? Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
Good,
yeah,
good, good.
I rested because the day we were going to play golf was too cold, so we didn't have nothing else to do but rest.
Ah, so you didn't really, okay, you got to play, you got a chance to play a little bit, but
played,
it's not.
We played the first day we were there. We were going to play 2 rounds.
Okay.
The second day we got there, it was too cold.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There's something interesting that I'm discovering.
Sure.
We're sitting here every week trying to convince people of the idolatry that they are in following the Greeks and the Romans.
And the Romans. Mm-hmm.
And we have put a lot of pressure on the empire of Israel for their idolatrous ways. But in reading certain material, which I shall not mention, I've come to realize that man, since creation, has had a problem with the Most High El.
Yeah. Yeah, just can't seem to get it just quite right.
Starting with our father and mother, Adam and Eve. Eve, who was persuaded by the serpent to violate the commandment that the Most High had given to Adam not to eat of the tree which was in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And then the serpent shows up. And one of the things that people don't understand when we talk about the serpent, they always want to make him the devil.
Yeah. And that's totally inaccurate. The devil is not in that narrative.
It was a serpent.
It's a serpent, yeah.
And in those days, animals had the means of being able to communicate with humans, and not by barking or squeaking or trying to ask them, what they're saying. No, they were
right.
Everything was of one language.
Right. No bleating of sheep and
no.
mooing of
everything
cows.
Everything was of one language.
Mm-hmm.
And they violated the commandment that the Most High had given in relationship to the tree of knowledge that resided in the midst of the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like from that point on, there are sparses of men living right with the Most High and sparses of man not living right with the Most High.
Mm.
Now, you've read the text, I'm sure.
I did.
Yeah, I'm sure you have read the text.
Okay.
And we come to understand something that's very unique about Enoch.
Oh.
That Enoch, while the Masoretic text talks about Enoch walked with the Most High and then he was taken.
Yeah.
But the history around Enoch walking with the Most High is the part that's missing in text.
Where what did he exude that made him upright enough in the eyes of the Most High? And even at that time, we got to understand that the written portion of text had not been issued yet. So,
And see, the reason I'm bringing this up
mm-hmm.
is because I'm coming to understand something that is very unique about man and the Most High. And as I talked about man's purpose in the earth was to have priestly authority and kingship, dominion. That was the reason and purpose for man being created by the Most High,
Mm-hmm.
and yet and still, from the inception of the creation of man, in the day that man was created, he died as a result of sin and violating the covenant that the Most High made with him.
That's true.
And from that point on, there is a systemic, there's this systemic thing long before Father Abraham ever comes on the scene of man's walking with the Most High and then not walking with the Most High. And as I'm reading this portion of text that I'm reading, it sounds much like the book of Judges.
Yeah. Shoftim. Yeah, where they're constantly your roller coaster book. I call it the relapse book. I mean, they just.
You have a deliverer,
Mm-hmm.
and the deliverer, you teshuvah, and you walk with the Most High, and then your deliverer dies, and you go back to doing that which is wicked in the eyes of the Most High.
Yeah, I'm going to make a statement that you may disagree with, but it's in line with what you're talking about. And we go back to the garden where we had the fall, and sin enters in because of disobedience. But not only did it affect here in the Eretz, but it also affected the Hashemayim, because we have text that talks about, now this is the part you may disagree with, but we have text that talks about how these individual angels came down and started looking at these females. Now, some text interprets it as the nobles, individuals that were around at that particular time, but when we go outside and look at some of these other books, it kind of really leads to this issue of not only the heavenly hosts are supposed to be obedient to a fault, but it affected, because of the fall of man, it affected them in such a way where they decided that they wanted to come down and do something that was unnatural too, that broke the natural, how do I best say this, the natural order of things that have been established. So my mind often thinks about, what's the purpose for that? The Most High hasn't changed. He's been the same yesterday, today, and forever. So if he knows the end from the beginning, then he knew that this was going to happen.
Well, here's the thing. I have said that everything that the Most High created from the beginning, prior to the making of man, fell in line with the order and fell in line with the will and purpose of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
The stars, the moon, the galaxies, everything in the Shemayim, everything in the Eretz fell in line with the will and purpose of the Most High until he made man. When he made man, man ushered in, you say, well, use the word, he ushered in chaos.
Yes. He did.
Now,
He did.
Now, we're talking about this, and probably you all listening to me now are probably asking the same question that I ask, and that question is why?
Exactly. I was going to, hopefully you were going to get there, but you got there. Good.
Why?
Why is that?
Why is the purpose of Most High to make a human individual that he is all-knowing in thought,
Mm-hmm.
in action? There is no error in what he has done. Why would he create an individual or individuals that he knew were going to have error?
I have a theory, but I want to hear yours.
Well, here's the deal.
Okay.
Everything that the Most High made functions at his will and at his command.
Mm-hmm.
The sun sets in the east, rises in the west. The stars affix themselves in a manner in which that when you understand astronomy, you can be on the ocean and you can find your way across from one just by following the stars. They're there.
Right.
And the stars, the actual stars happen to also be a representative of the 12 sons of Israel.
Mm.
Most people don't know that.
Mm.
When man shows up,
Mm-hmm.
there is something about the Most High that is systemic to who he is.
Come on. And what might that be?
Well,
Oh, teacher.
man was created different than everything else that he created.
Correct.
The animals marched according to his will, and they did what they were supposed to do until the fall. And then they were conflicted.
Do you think that conflict is because of their own ability to be
No,
conflicted? Because man got involved
Man
and started corrupting the things that...
Man caused the chaos.
Yeah.
And through everything that the Most High had created out of order.
Mm.
Now, you go and you think, well, wow, man's got some power. I mean, man's got the power to be able to alter the dynamic plan of the Most High.
Mm.
I say no. I say man did alter the plan of the Most High, but he didn't do something that the Most High didn't know he was going to do.
Right.
So now the question is this, once back again,
Why?
why?
I'm thinking you're looking at me like you want me to go first.
Yeah, I do.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm going to see if you're going to sync with me.
Oh, okay.
Because here's the thing. I told you that what's taking place with this error in man and the Most High and this relationship that he has with what he's created
Mm-hmm.
is systemic to who he is.
Okay. Now I'm not going to go first. Based on what you just got done saying, I'm going to tell you what, that is baiting me for an L. So, okay, why don't you just step out there and I'll just give you my theory. It's remedial, but it's the first thing I thought about when you brought up this subject matter. And I'm looking at all the things that you just named that have what's in common with them. Okay? Pre-fall and post-fall. Sun, moon, stars, dog, cat, goldfish. All these things were made by the Most High. What is the one thing that they all lack? One might come out and say, okay, well, they're lacking the ability of free will to choose. But I actually want to be more remedial than that. And this is what I thought about is one word: appreciation. None of those things that you just got done naming can think about it. I made all these things that you just named came way before the sixth day when man was made.
Yes.
All these things had a purpose, and they served their purpose to a T without fault.
Yep.
How boring is that? I've got all this resplendence and glory and all this different kinds of things, and there's no one around to appreciate it.
Okay.
So therefore, I already have my hosts here with me. They're doing what they're supposed to do all the time.
The heavenly hosts.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm going to, since they can only be second best here, which you so eloquently brought to light, I thought that was monumental. People, that blew over a lot of people's heads. But the fact of the matter is that they can only be second best in the Hashemayim. I'm going to make an image in the Eretz so they can have dominion. And while they're down there having dominion, I'm going to create a group that can appreciate me and the stuff that I've built and I've done. Otherwise, they're just like anything else that I made. To prove to the world through this one group that I am the all-existent one. See, the sun knows that already. Stars know that already. Trees know that already. Animals know that already. How come you don't? That's something that you come into an understanding of, and it's so organic. And when you're able to appreciate it and understand the Most High where He is, that is why I think probably the reason why the existence of why we're here, because of appreciation. It may sound narcissistic, but it's not.
No.
It's just to, out of all the creation that was made, and like I said, it may be remedial, but out of all the creation that was made, the Most High has made this one species, this one construct of carbon and whatever else we're made of earth and pneuma, and says to us and gives us ability to have free will to choose. And through that choosing process, we're able to exalt the Most High and understand and have an adoration for what has been created. Not only has it shall be in the Hashemayim, shall it be in the earth. So if there's praise going on in the Hashemayim, then where is it in the earth?
Here's the thing. You're right.
Okay, whoo, whoo.
In part.
Sweating bullets. Oh.
No, you're right in part. And you mentioned the part which is relative to man, and the reason why things are the way they are. The Most High did not make a mistake when He gave to man the ability to have free will and choice.
Yeah.
Free will and choice is the elephant in the room in terms of man's ability to wrap his mind around following the way of the Most High and doing something different.
Only one.
But there is this aspect of, not in theory, but in fact, as I've talked about before, man was always in the mind of the Most High. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been this conversation of let us make man.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That was always in his mind. Man could not reside in the Shemayim with the Most High.
Correct.
So he created, he did what a good husband would do before he gets married.
Makes a home for his a place, a shelter, a dwelling.
He makes everything that his wife needs to have, and then he brings her into that environment. That's man in the Most High. but he gave man the ability to choose between that which was good and that which was evil. And so he starts out by giving man a commandment. And the commandment is a test of man's will to obey.
What's the text that? If you love me,
You will obey.
you will obey.
So Adam is caught in a, I want to say he's caught in a vulnerable position when his wife comes to him with the notion from which the serpent has provided to her to explain to her, well, if you eat of the tree, you will be like El.
Mm.
You will have knowledge. You will have the knowledge of El.
Mm.
And he convinces her that what El said, surely you won't die.
Mm.
But the Most High said, surely the day that you do, in that day you will die.
Mm-hmm.
Adam died 900 and I think 82 years into the 1,000 year. 1,000 years is a day, and a day is 1,000 years. He died 900 and some odd years so he died in the day.
In the day. I think it was 930.
So he died in the day.
In the day, absolutely.
Now, people may be asking the question, well, why would the Most High create something that he knew was going to fail? Adam didn't fail. Adam created what the Most High needed to have created, that has flowed from the time that Adam sinned to the day that we're in right now. So we ask ourselves a question. Why is man in such an is in such a position of being obstinate with the Most High? And it doesn't and I want to take the children of Israel off the hook.
Okay.
Because it doesn't begin with them.
Yeah, that's agreed.
It begins early in text, and it begins early with Enoch. And as we read through various works that a lot of people don't subscribe to, you come to find out that Enoch was born with a mindset that was associated with the Most High and righteousness, just like Father Abraham. Because Father Abraham was born into an idolatrous state.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
His DNA is associated with idolatry.
Yeah, he's born in it. And matter of fact, I'm going to have to throw another person in the hat. Let's throw the goat in there too. Because even though he comes from the lineage of Yaakov, he's still brought up in a house of Paro, where his influence left and right are idol gods, deities, all the way from the beginning to the end. But he still has this something inside him. That's why I love that piece that's in 1 Shemuel when we go into chapter number 16, and it talks about the inception of King David, Melech David. And one of the things that Most High says, or Asher says to Shemuel, is that, hey, listen, I don't look at the exterior of a person. I look at what's inside them. You see all the physical attributes, but what's there is what I'm looking for, the heart of a person. So like you're saying, Father Abraham had a heart. Enoch had a heart. All these patriarchs that come before even the inception of Moshe, they walked with the Most High. I got a question for you, though. I'm going to get back to something irrelevant and off topic, because you said it, and I thought about it. They're in the garden, and the serpent comes up to you and has all this knowledge about all this stuff. How is he able to be that cunning? How does he know all that? How does he know that, to manipulate it? Because they said he was cunning.
Well, let's get back to
Like I
let's
said,
get
it's off
back
topic.
let's get back to the Most High.
Sure.
Let me save this for a minute. Let's pull up Devarim 13.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go Devarim 3.
Pull up Devarim 13.
13. All right, let's go there. Devarim 13. Where you want to go? Number 1?
Number 1.
I'll start right at the top. That's good. Everything.
Now, where'd my...
Right here.
Oh, you got it.
I didn't think you needed it.
We're going to get somewhere in here.
Right.
Everything I'm commanding you, you are to take care to do. Do not add to or subtract from it. If a prophet or someone who gets messages while dreaming arises among you and gives you a sign or wonder, and the sign or wonder comes about as he predicted when he said, let's follow other elves, which you have not known, let us serve them. You are not to listen to what that prophet or dreamer says, for Yahweh your Elohim is...
Testing.
There's the word right there.
Testing you to find out whether you really do.
Come on. Highlight for me. Highlight for me. I want highlights today. All right.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
What? Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it ain't working for me neither.
No, it ain't working for you either. All right.
It's testing you in order to find out whether you really do love.
Now, that right there, for Yahweh your Elohim is testing you in order to find out whether you really do love Yahweh your El with all your heart and being. That phrase right there is the heart, soul, and action of the Most High that defines whether what he has created will love him or not. Can you pass the test?
Yeah, can you pass the litmus test, the smell
So
test?
now we go back to the garden issue. The garden issue and the serpent was all about testing Adam and Eve to determine if they really love the Most High. So everything that the Most High does is put in place and is a test to determine whether what he has created loves him or not. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it over and over again until I go to my grave. The Most High El is a spirit.
Yeah.
This spirit has created everything. This spirit is the only spirit in the world that has the right to have an ego that big.
Sure. Agreed. Agreed.
So the garden, as is everything that is documented in history, is about his ego and whether or not you really do love me with all your heart and being.
That's right.
Everything.
Right. And this is not the first. I mean, obviously, this has shown up. I mean, not garden situation. You have another situation with Father Abraham later on, where he goes up there and he tests him. He has this conversation with him already about, hey, this is the oath and this is what I'm going to do, and then giving you guys, matriculate you guys into the land, and then your descendants are going to be like sands of the sea. And he tests him in the very next moment with his son. And the son goes along with it because of the oath that was made between the two of them. But he's testing him the whole entire time. To see whether or not you are going, I got to be able to know that your pedigree is up to snuff, because we're playing for big stakes over here. And I can't have somebody that's wishy-washy being the catalyst and the patriarch for my people. If you're not going to show that yourself as, which he already knew that he already had it in him already, but, it's one of those things that's very cathartic, for us to understand and unearth, is to see that, again, this is like, I'll say it and keep saying it till I go to my grave, is that every single time I pick up that Torah, or I pick up the Tanakh. Every time that I read that Masoretic text, I'm reading a master plan. I'm not reading something that's just by happenstance. Then nothing in there works like that.
No. Now, to go along with that, we go back to, I'm trying to find it in John, where is it, in 1 John?
Oh, you went over there?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go with it because the issue comes up there.
I'm going to join you with
Come
you
on,
over there.
find it. Okay.
The old Yotanan. What are we looking for?
I think it's 5. Where am I at? I'm in 1 John 5.
1 John and 5. All right.
Let's go there.
All right. I was going to pull it up, but you beat me to it. 1 John. That always screwed me up. You got John, then you got John 1, 2, and 3.
Now,
5. 1 John 5.
what did I say? The Most High is always putting something in place for man to test whether or not man loves him.
Right.
So here in John, let's we'll read it.
Okay.
Everyone who believes that Yeshua is the Messiah has El as his father. Well, let's just skip that part, but we all have El as our father.
Right.
And everyone, now watch, this is the key. Everyone who loves a father loves his offspring too. So the Most High loves man that he created. But now he tells us something. Here is how we know that we love El's children. When we love El, we also do what the commandments, do what he commands. For loving El means obeying the commandments.
Yeah.
Moreover, his commandments are not burdensome because everything which has El as its father overcomes the world, and this is what victoriously overcomes the world, our trust. Who does overcome the world is not a person. Wait a minute.
It says, what did you, hold on. Is that right there?
Wait.
That can't be in there.
Wait.
It says, who does overcome the world if not the person who believes? Oh, okay. I'm reading that. I was reading too fast.
Who believes that Yeshua is the son of El. Wait. Come on. Is that tricking us up?
Yeah, I'm reading this wrong. Did I see something that says, who does overcome the world if not?
Who does overcome the world if not the person who believes that Yeshua
is the son of El? So is that's saying that you overcome the world because you believe Yeshua is the son of El?
Okay, let's scratch that.
Yeah,
I was reading, I'm going, wait a minute. Are you saying something we missed all this time? But the point that I'm trying to bring here in John is that we get back to...
Ooh, this is confusing.
Yes, but we get back to the principal thing that we've brought up in this text. What's that? And that is that we love El's children. When we love El, we also do what he commands. See, for loving El means obeying his commands. So the issue, even in the book of John across the street, the issue is the love of the Most High by obeying his commands. And he gives us those commands as a test to determine our love.
That's correct. Now, please talk about this, because we have to set the record straight, because we are Ibir in exile. Those commands that's over there across the street, we know and understand those to be the mitzvot of the Most High, which we call the Torah. That's not some abbreviated version that Christianity likes to come up with and say, yep, it's the commands. Yeah, but you're not talking, those people that are reading that from that side of the street aren't looking at the commands as being what we see the commands are. Those are the commands that are given within the Torah. So I know you're going to, it's probably going to say something about that, but I just want to make that a clear distinction.
No. Let's get back to what we're dealing with. So why is it we've established that the Most High has created things. He's created man, given man free will, and from the inception of the creation of man,
Okay.
when you read about Enoch, Enoch is an individual who is teaching his peers wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Sure.
What's he teaching them? He's teaching them Torah, not written.
Correct. Correct.
Torah is not written. He's teaching them Torah, which is not written. And while he's teaching them Torah that's not written, the text says, and there were men upon the earth who were wicked in Enoch's day.
That's correct. That's correct. So yeah.
So this wickedness that we're talking about, that we want to put on the shoulders of the empire of Israel in exile, and the things that they've come to bore, it doesn't start with them. It is within the fiber of the DNA of man to have self-will and choice. And the choices that he has made have not been choices that have been favorable with the Most High, but the Most High from the inception has not left himself without a witness. He's always had a righteous man amongst them to teach them Torah.
Absolutely. At every turn. Even if he's got a little remnant left, he's going to keep somebody around.
Now, we're going to finish this, but I have to stop.
Why you got to stop? Oh, you got to stop for
We got to
that.
stop for a minute. Okay? we got to stop for a minute.
That's almost like a good segue to have a commercial or something to see who's
Have
in
a commercial.
who's in the super chat.
Have a
They got any
commercial.
questions in the super chat they can ask real
Have
quick.
a commercial till I get back.
No, it's very interesting because, you know, even as I sit here and I just dwell on the fact that the Most High has got this immaculate plan and dealing with individuals. Yeah, I totally agree with the fact that they've, and it sounds like I'm talking to myself, but I'm not. They have had this problem, and this issue of free will continue to keep coming up time and time again. And I just have to, you know, the Most High hasn't changed from day one. And so because he hasn't changed from day one, this is all a part of his plan for us. So that issue of adoration, that issue of love, that issue of trying to have his creation be appreciative, because like the head ambassador was saying, you know, it's a matter of love. It's a matter of exuding that love through the commands. You know that a person is loyal to you by, and this is one of the things that I've said quite a few times when I've taught, is that I will believe a person's actions before I believe the words that are coming out of their mouths. Problem with a lot of people today is that they say a lot and their word means nothing, but the experiential knowledge that I have from the things that they do is what counts at the end of the day. So I can't simply have just a narrative and say that I believe in a man, and that man, my belief in that man gets my ticket punched into a higher place when I haven't exuded anything to show somebody that. That's dealing with something that's in reality. I can go up to, I'm married, but I can go up to, somebody can go up, I won't even use me. I can go up to keep saying I. A person can go up to a beautiful woman and say that I love you. Okay, it's just words. It doesn't really speak to the heart of the matter of whether or not you really do or not. So the commandments are kind of that buffer, that testing ground, which is so eloquently put in the text to say that this is the benchmark that I'm going to put in place to show, or for you to show me that you are a part of Team Yahweh. Because otherwise, you know, you exude this wickedness that I deplorably detest. And I think in that sense, the creation, which is a beautiful thing, is very cathartic for me to even say this right now. That's the beauty of of the Most High and the creation of man is because we're so unique in the fact that out of all the creations, we've been given this one special gift that we tend to exploit and dishonor. Free will and choice should be something to honor the Most High with, but we use it as a weapon to do what we want to do. We want to be inherently El. We want to make the rules. We want to say what's good or bad. We want to be able to go to a distant land and establish a flag there and say, this is what we're about. And that the Most High bends to us. We don't bend to the Most High. It's kind of this arrogant way of looking at things. And again, it's kind of this desecration that the Most High has given his creation when we exploit this issue of free will and not use it to the advantage of doing the things that are germane that the Most High would have us to do. I think we use it. We should be able to make choices about things that are going on within our lives, but at the same time, and improve ourselves. And as a community, we have the ability to make those choices. But there's some times when those choices come out bad, and we do the things that are wicked in the sight of the Most High. So it speaks to the uniqueness of. In one part, yes, it's bad. But it speaks to the uniqueness of this creation because we're the only creation that has it.
But let's understand this issue. Why did the Most High, and get back to the question, why did the Most High create man knowing fair well that he was going to fail? 1. 2, why did the Most High choose a nation that was stiff-necked and hard-headed to be his people? There are 2 reasons at the behest of why he did this. Once again, we're going to deal with his ego.
Okay. I'm with you there. I mean, the latter one is the easier one for me.
Now,
yeah,
he gives us a set of teachings to function by.
Sure.
He takes Israel out and sets them between 2 mountains and tells them to choose.
Yep, Gizarim and Eval.
Eval.
Yes.
One is green, one is dry and desert.
Correct.
And deserted. He tells them to choose.
Mm-hmm.
So man has always had within him the ability to make the choice for good or for that which is not good.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High knew that. Sure. But the principal thing in the mind of the Most High, he's dealing with one thing. We're going to get back to your premise.
Okay.
I have created everything before man has created, and we might say it's boring. Let me create something that will love me and will worship me out of choice.
Out of choice. Not because I designed it to do something specific. It's because it had an ability to have the cognitive, not the cognitive dissonance, but the cognitive ability to recognize who I am. And I'm going to use this group of people called Ibir, the Hebrew people, to show the entire world who I am. Because this is the group that is, it's like, I don't want to character defamate the Sacramento Kings, but I'm going to do it. And I'm not doing it just to be mean to them. But nobody comes into the season thinking the Sacramento Kings was going to win anything because of whatever reasons that they have, okay? But the issue is that if for some odd reason they win the NBA Finals, somebody's probably going to say that was an act of the Most High because they ain't got no business winning anything at all with what they have. Now, the Sacramento Kings were sitting in this audience. They'd probably be throwing tomatoes at me right now. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that you got a stiff-necked, hard-headed group of people that don't want to listen, who are going to object to everything that I say. And I'm going to use them to show the world how powerful I am, because if you can do it to this group, man, because we see what they're about.
We got a problem, Houston.
What's the problem?
We got a problem, Houston.
What's the problem? I said, I'm up in space. Come on.
We have to answer the question as to why would the Most High create a man, select a nation of people that he knows is going to do wrong, and then turn around and punish them for the wrong that they've done?
No, I don't think it. Well, I guess I don't look at it like that. I guess I don't look at it from a sense of they did. I knew that they were going to do wrong, so I'm going to punish them. That just seems like an Elohim that's just like, I'm just doing it just to inflict pain because I can.
Let's look at something. Let's go back.
Okay.
If we go back in text, okay, I created man. I knew man was going to fail.
Okay.
And I knew man was going to be wicked. Okay?
Okay.
Does he know the extent to which this wickedness is going to evolve?
Sure he does.
To the point where he says, I regret that I even made man.
Sure.
And then he selects Noah as the only righteous man in his time frame to save out of a multitude of people that he destroys for their wickedness because they refuse to turn.
Okay.
Is that a problem?
No, because he knows it all. There's a purpose for that. Without these examples, how are we able to quantify, enumerate? When we give our testimony about the Most High, heaven, stars, deliver the people through the desert, through the Red Sea, the Sea of Suf, multiplied them, gave them land. How in the world are we supposed to quantify the Most High if we don't have examples of him doing something extraordinary? And what better group to do it with?
Well, once again, this happens long before Israel is ever a nation in the Most High's eyes, because Father Abraham is the progenitor of the Hebrew nation of Israel.
That's true.
And the Hebrew nation of Israel follows the exact example of their prior ancestral people back to Enoch, back to Nimrod. Nimrod wasn't always what he was. He developed being this person who began to espouse wickedness when his head got so full of himself that he decided that he would start making wicked choices. But there's a but let's get back to the key issue that we have here with the Most High. Let's pull up the board again.
Okay.
And let's go to, let's see, might be Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah 16 and 20 and 16. Jeremiah 16 and 16 and 16.
Okay. 16 and 16 says, look, says Yahweh.
I will send for many fishermen, and they will fish for them. Afterwards, I will send many hunters, and they will hunt them from every mountain and hill, out of the caves and the rocks. For I see their ways, they are not hidden from me. Their crimes are not concealed from my eyes. First, I will pay them back double for their crimes and sins, because they have defiled the land which is mine. They have filled my heritage with the corpses of their horrors and abominations. Okay? Now, all of that's talking about Israel.
Sure.
Okay? 19. Yahweh, my strength, my fortress, my refuge in time of trouble. The nations will come to you from the ends of the earth, saying, our ancestors inherited nothing but lies, futile idols, completely useless. Okay? Now that's That's the words of the nations who have decried the downfall of Israel and have been told that the Most High has forsaken them, and therefore Israel has been replaced by foreign nations.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the nations are saying. Now he says, get down to 20,
Okay.
can a person make himself gods? In fact, they aren't gods at all. Now, here's the verbiage that's systemic to the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I will make them know once and for all, I will make them know my power and my might, then they will know that my name is Yahweh. What'd you say?
So he can show the world how powerful and mighty he is.
Okay. Now, let's go to Ezekiel.
Okay.
Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 5.
Seek 5. Seek 5. One street over.
And let's see.
Where you want to start?
Let me see where we want to start there. And
Should we start at 1? It's only 17 verses.
let's start with chapter 5, and let's start with verse 7.
7? All right.
Yeah.
There we go. There you go.
Now, in Ezekiel
Mm-hmm.
chapter number 5, there is, let's move it up to verse 5.
Verse 5? All
Yeah.
right. Let's go.
Let's move it back to verse 5. Now, here in Ezekiel chapter 5, and he's talking about Israel.
Okay.
He says, here is what Yahweh says. This is Jerusalem. I have placed her in the middle of the nations, countries. Countries can be found all around her. Okay? She has rebelled against my rulings. Jerusalem is a city and is a place, but Jerusalem is also systemic with Israel, because
right.
that was the house, that was a home in which Israel lived in and did all of their everything in.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
So he makes it systemic to them, but he's talking about Israel. She rebelled against my rulings, committed wickedness more than the nations, against my laws more than the countries around her, because they have rejected my rulings and not lived according to my laws. Now, I want you to hold that piece in mind, because that piece in mind, you and I sit here each week trying to get people, persuade people that where you are and what you're doing is a violation of everything that the Most High said here. And he says, you have committed wickedness against my laws more than the countries around her, because you have rejected my rulings and not lived according to my laws. That's specific to Hebrew Israel. Now we get back to the question. Why did he choose a hard-headed, stiff-necked nation that would do that? Let's read on.
Okay.
Therefore, here's what Yahweh says. Because you have outdone the nations around you by not living according to my laws, or following my rulings, or even following the rules of the nations around you.
See, you don't even do their laws.
Therefore, here's what Yahweh Elohim says. I am also against you. Yes, I will execute judgments among you while all the nations look on. Now, just hold it right there.
Okay.
You wonder why it is that in this exiled nation that we're in, that you don't even recognize that these are the Most High's judgments that he is inflicting upon you, because you fail to want to obey his rules and his laws and his teachings.
Mm-hmm.
This is for Hebrew Israel.
Right. Agreed. Top to bottom.
I have talked to a young lady because I thought she really wanted to know. And I think she really does want to know. But the elephant in the room is everybody else is doing this jig. And the one that you're telling me about, it just doesn't work for me. And it doesn't work for me because the crowd is doing this.
That speaks. Oh, wow.
No, really. And when you think about people wanting to acquiesce to this truth, this truth is in opposition to the multitude. The multitude is going this way, and you want me to turn and go this way. But the multitude is doing that. What am I going to do? I'm going to do what the multitude is, and we miss a mitzvot because we haven't been taught the mitzvot that says, do not follow the crowd when the crowd is doing wrong.
That's correct.
But you don't know that the crowd is doing wrong, so you want to follow the crowd. And then you and I show up and we tell them, well, the crowd is wrong. And then they say, well, the crowd can't be wrong because they've been doing this for centuries.
But here,
where you Negroes come up from telling us we're doing wrong?
Let me add to that. Okay? Let me add to that for a second. I would wager that person that you're talking to, and anybody, they're fighting something that's inherently within inside them that they know is right. They know that doing this over here, symbolizing eating blood, eating somebody's flesh, putting a man, all is not of the Most High. They're doing it, like you said, because they're following the crowd. But that's contradictory to the inherentness that the Most High has put in everybody. You have built-in Torah mitzvot that are inside you. Nobody has to tell you, you know what, you don't need to go in the backyard and do some strange things with the chickens and the goats. Nobody has to tell you that. So when a person uses that excuse like, oh, well, this is what they're doing over here, you know what's inherently right.
Well, let's take a piece out of their text.
Okay.
On that example that you've just used. When JC showed up and told them, except you eat my flesh and drink my blood, the crowd said, oh, heck no, we're not doing that.
That's right.
And they went away.
Yeah. Hell no, we won't go. Let's be out. And left.
And they left.
Like they should have.
Because they knew that what he said was a violation of Torah.
Absolutely.
They were not ignorant of that.
Absolutely.
So now the question becomes one, if the crowd written in your text understood that it was wicked and it was against the rulings of the Most High, why do you continue to follow something that your text and the crowd that was there understood as being taboo? But let's go on. Let's go on. So he says, I too am against you. I will execute judgment. And it was going to not. Moreover, because of your disgusting practices, I will do things to you that have never been done before. I will never do such things again. Parents among you will eat their children, and children will eat their parents. I will execute judgment among you and scatter to all the winds those who remain. For as I live, says Yahweh, because you defile my sanctuary with all of your detestable things and disgusting practice, therefore I swear that I will cut you off. My eye will not spare. I will have no pity, and a third of you will die from the plague or be consumed by famine inside Jerusalem. Now this is historical here.
Right.
A third will fall by the sword around you in Jerusalem, and a third will be scattered to the winds, pursued with the wind. In this my anger will spend it. It will spend itself. My fury against them will die, and I will be satisfied. I want to get somewhere down here. Where I want to get to somewhere down there. I want to get somewhere.
Oh my goodness! This is. I'm gonna say, keep going. This is beautiful.
I will make you a ruin and an object of reproach among the nations around you in sight of all passing by. That's current. When I execute judgment and furious punishments among you in anger and fury, you will be an object of reproach, derision, and horror, and a lesson to warn the nations around you. I, Yahweh, have announced it. I will send upon you deadly destruction, arrows of famine, which I will send to destroy you. I will make the famine worse for you by cutting off your food supply. Yes, I will send famine, savage and beast. And this is what I want to get to. I will send famine, savage, beast upon you to leave you without children. Plague, bloodshed will sweep through you, and I will bring the sword upon you. I
I, Yahweh. Yeah. Eye, Asher, Eye.
I, Yahweh, have spoken.
Spoken it. I got to say this. I got to stay there. Stay there. You're in the zone. I got to say this. I just heard through the prophet the Most High talk. Throughout that whole entire piece, that dissertation that you just read, what is the one thing that's resounding throughout the whole entire thing? I, Yahweh, have announced it. I, Yahweh, have spoken it. You see how the Most High's behavior and how he talks? And then we get 400 years later, and then it's turn the other cheek. Eat my flesh. You don't have to do any of that stuff. These are two distinct people talking. And what's resounding here is when you hear the voice of the Most High and you know how he talks, you can't go across the street and say that's inspired by the Most High. The Most High didn't talk like that. You got a whole entire set of books and prophets that talk about that. But stay there. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go where you're going.
Okay.
I had to just say that because it's resounding. The resonance from that is there.
We're going to keep following the thought here.
Okay.
Get out of there. We're going to keep following the thought. We're going to keep following the thought. The word of Yahweh came to me. Human being, face toward the mountains of Israel and prophesy against them. The mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh, Elohim. Here is what Yahweh, Elohim, says about the mountains, the hills, the ravines, and the valleys. I myself will bring a sword against you and destroy your high places. Now, I'm reading this because there's a point in here that I'm making that it gets back to the systemic issue of the Most High that is germane to his creation of man, and also that is germane to Israel. There's something I want to read. I want to get to it. Your altars will be wrecked, your pillars, your sun worship broken, your sun worship broken, your sun worship broken. Listen, you that are worshiping on Sunday, you can look forward to your sun worship being broken. It's going to happen. And I will throw down your slain ones in front of your idols. I will lay the corpses of the people of Israel in front of their idols and scatter your bones all around your altars. Everywhere you live, the cities will be destroyed and the high places wrecked, so that your altars can be destroyed and wrecked, your idols broken and abolished, your pillars and for sun worship cut down, and the things you have made wiped out. The slain will fall among you. Then you will know
that
I am Yahweh. Everything that is systemic to the Most High is germane to the fact that then you will know that I am Yahweh. And if you read Ezekiel, just to read Ezekiel through, you'll get down to let's go to 13:21.
13:21. Woo! I'm gonna be lazy.
That's okay.
Because I don't want to get up.
That's okay.
There's 9.
Go to 13.
There's 10. We almost there.
21.
13:21. All right. There's 12. 13:21. Where are we at?
Now.
14. There we go.
Now, we might want to back up a little bit. Let's see. 13:21. Oh.
Man,
Let's go to 17.
17?
Yeah, back up
right.
to 17.
Let's back this train up. All right, there we go.
You, human being, turn your face against the daughters of your people who prophesy out of their own thoughts. I want you to hear that. Turn your face against the daughters of your people who prophesy out of their own thoughts. So all you all that are out there prophesying out of your own thoughts, the Most High is turning his face against you. Tell them that Yahweh Elohim says, woe to the women who sew magic pads for all armpits and put veils over people of all sizes in order to hunt human lives. So all those little prayer clause and all that little stuff that we do is written in this text here.
Uh-huh.
Will you hunt down the lives of my people while you keep your own lives safe? You dishonor me because my people, for a few handfuls of barley and crumbs of bread, killing people who should not die and sparing those who should not live, by your lying to my people who love hearing lies. Therefore, here is what Yahweh Elohim says. I am against your paths with which you hunt human lives like birds. I will tear them down from your arms and let the lives go. Yes, human lives that you hunt like birds.
Wait, 21.
I will also tear your veils and rescue my people from their clutches, so that they will no longer be in your power for you to hunt. Then you will know, there it is, then you will know that I am Yahweh. Because you have disheartened the righteous with your lies, when I was not trying to cause them pain, and have encouraged the wicked not to turn from their wicked ways and thus be saved. Therefore, you will have no more futile visions, and you will produce no more divinations. I will rescue my people from your clutches, and you will know that I am Yahweh. That's the signature.
His behavior, his character.
That's the signature.
I love it.
So,
he has a specific way of talking.
So now, when we get back to the issue of the creation of man and the fall of man, and we look at Israel and the fall of Israel, the thing that is systemic in the mind of the Most High is that he wants to prove to mankind that there is absolutely none like me.
That's correct.
I can take that which is obstinate, hard-headed, stiff-necked, and rebellious, and I can rescue them and make them find a peaceful relationship with me once again. Now, there is a problem. There is a problem.
For us or for them?
There's a problem for the world. The Most High is going to use, and if you, I could go through and everything about the redemption of Israel is written in the book of Ezekiel. He covers it all. And in everything that he covers about Israel's redemption, he uses these words, then you will know that I am Yahweh. That's his signature. Then you will know that I am Yahweh. He's going to rescue because he's promised Israel that he's going to bring her back from the four corners that he has displaced her. You read Ezekiel, he talks about coming back into the land, and that the nations that are going to rise up against Israel, don't even think about it, because you're going to die if you do that. Okay, so that's all that's in Ezekiel. Then you will know that I am Yahweh. So when we look at creation, and we look at the obstinance of man, he proves that I can take a people that are obstinate, hard-headed, and stiff-necked, that refuse to love me. And people that refuse to love me and produce wickedness, we find in text that he has no use for them. He destroys them. He destroyed a nation before Noah because they refused to turn. And he gave them 120 years to change. And when calamity came upon them, they were knocking on the door. Come on, we're ready to repent. He said, it's too late. I gave you 120 years to do this.
Right. That's right.
So now, here we are in the last days. And man is acting just like text that we're reading, not just scripture, but other texts that we're reading
Mm-hmm.
of how man has operated, and he's given you a whole millennium of time, which is called the 6th day of grace, which is the same thing he gave in Noah's 120 years. He gave them grace. He gave them 120 years to get it right,
That's right.
and they refused.
That's right. Yep.
And we're living in a day where truth takes a back seat to error. And the Most High is giving us a whole millennium of time
Mm-hmm.
to get it right.
That's right. That's right. Now
You'll be knocking on his door in that day when judgment falls. You'll be knocking on his door, and the word in that day, I guarantee you, is going to be the same word that Noah said to those people. He's given you a whole 6 days to get it right.
Mm-hmm. And now you want to have a proverbial come to Jesus meeting and thinking you're going to get in. Nope.
And he's going to sign it with these words.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
And you will know
That
that
I
am
am
Yahweh.
I'm Yahweh.
I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm the creator of all things.
Mm-hmm.
And I have decreed.
Right.
I've given you a choice. You've chosen to do that which is wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And I raised my hand. He says, I brought prophets. He uses the word fishermen and so forth and so on in the text, but that's only means that he's bringing individuals to look for you
Mm-hmm.
and give you an opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to testify, and yet and still you refused. You wanted to walk in wickedness, but that wickedness is the same thing that's pervasive in man from the beginning.
Yeah. It's always been there.
When you read about the genealogies in chapter 3 of Bereshit, 2 and 3 of Bereshit,
Mm-hmm.
in those genealogies there are people and nations of people that were walking in wickedness before the Most High. Enoch had to teach them what was wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did
Mm-hmm.
until he was taken away.
That's right.
And after he was taken away, they did the same thing that happened in Judges.
Yeah.
They went back
to what
doing
they was doing.
what was wicked.
Yep. Yep.
So I bring it up because I find some solace in the history. And I'm not beating myself up so much anymore
Okay.
as to why we're sitting here talking about things that are true in relationship to Scripture
Mm-hmm.
and the Most High, and there are very few ears that are even listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not beating myself up anymore.
Yeah, because you've established that that's been prescribed since almost day one.
And
yeah.
I was praying,
Mm-hmm.
and I was asking the Most High, what can I do? And you know what he said to me?
Mm.
He said, they don't listen to me. Why would they listen to you?
It's a very good point. It's a very good point.
He said, they don't listen to me. Why would they listen to you?
It's a great point. That's a great point.
I turned over on my pillow,
You just went right back to sleep?
and I went to sleep.
No, that's a great point.
Now, with that being said, it does not preclude us from doing what text says. Text says to cry loud
Spare not.
and spare not, and tell my people their sins.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we are obviously walking in the way that the Most High would have us to, which is things are going to play out the way they're going to play out because it's been ordained already, and all we need to do is what Matter of fact, I'm so thankful that the Most High gave you this a long time ago, which is basically say, hey, we're not here to teach you about how to read Hebraic characters. We're not here to do any of this other stuff that's germane to the Messianic movement and all these other different things that are there. What is the heart of the matter for the people, which is their lack of understanding of how my community and how my nation should work. They have no knowledge of it. They've been indoctrinated into a way that teaches them against what I'm prescribing for my nation to be, because that's the one unique thing, because we are no different than any other nation other than we have accepted the oath that we have to honor between our ancestor and the Most High. And because of that, we have this extra, well, we've been called out, and we have to be the catalyst, and we have to be the individuals that stand tall to show the other nations what this is all about. And that's all we can do. The Most High has got his own agenda on how things are supposed to be ran. For however long he has us pontificating about the importance of his word, that's what we're going to do.
Now, this is the principal thing in this conversation we're having this evening. The establishment of Adam, the establishment of man, is centered around one thing. One thing. The creation, the Shemayim, and the creation of the Eretz, and everything that's in the Eretz, except man, functions at the will of the Most High.
Without question.
I'm creating you and giving you a home and making you a kingdom of priests, having authority. And all I ask you to do is to love me. That's all I ask. Love me. Love me by how? By just obeying what I've given you to obey, because everything I've given you to obey is for your good. It's for your health, and it's for your welfare. And it's right. And I've explained it to you, and I've given you the choice to be able to choose between that and your own self-will. I've already proven that I can create things that will abide by my will. I've already proven that. Now, I'm creating you and giving you the opportunity to choose whether or not you want to love me or not.
I see that my eyes are open, and I see the gravitas in that.
And I'm giving you everything. Yeah. I'm giving you everything for you to establish that decision and principle on.
That no other creature has the ability to do.
Because I said to you, everything that I created was good and very good.
Absolutely.
And you have chosen to function in opposition to that. And you want to go serve alien gods that are not, which he says in text, that are not gods at all.
No.
So when you look at JC is not a god at all.
But see, look at the relationship that's there. See, the Most High created us with the ability to have free will that no other species has. That is a miracle in itself when you look at it, because you're saying, okay, free will is working, because a byproduct of free will is the negative of it as well. So it is something that is unique to this creation and this creation only. But then when we look at how much of a smack in the face that is to say that you're going to go off and worship some other Elohim that you made with your own hands, who doesn't have the ability to do the same thing that I put in you. I gave you the ability to make choices.
Yeah.
You serve the very thing that you created. That would be like the Most High creating us and then the Most High serving us.
Now,
that doesn't work.
Now.
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's just.
Now, listen. See, the fact that the text talks about creating gods of stone and wood and steel kind of bypasses the thought process when JC shows up, because he's not of wood and steel, but he is the creation of man.
He is. He is.
He is not the creation of the Most High. He is the creation of man. And that can be proven over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But just like our ancestors of before Adam, in the days of Enoch,
mm-hmm.
we have made a choice to worship something other than the absolute all-existent one,
mm-hmm.
whose name is written in text and is not God, and is not Lord, and is not Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
His name is written in text. Iye Asher Iye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tetragrammaton. Yod He Vav
Vav
He.
He.
Pronounced Yahweh with a vowel sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yahuwah without the vowel
No
sound.
sounds. Yep.
He has a name.
Mm-hmm.
And that name says, I sign everything and saying, and then you will know that I am Yahuwah, I am Yahweh, who did this and who's going to do this.
Right. Right.
And there are many,
how can you go across the street and say, they say that you are God. Who do you say that I am? Oh, wait a minute. The Most High doesn't hide from who he is. He signs everything that he says.
He signs everything that he has. Then you will know. You'll know who I am.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I'm the first, I'm the last. I have created all things. Mm-hmm. I have created the heavens and the earth and everything therein. If there is anyone beside me, let him come and tell me.
Right.
Isaiah.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Well, this has been Rabbi Robert B. Holman Jr.
and Sean Appleton.
And this has been
Hebrews in Exile. Shalom.